Welcome. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, Brother Maxton most nowadays. But welcome to my channel for tonight. I've been trying to go do this for a couple days now because the day that I went to the Squared Circle Expo was on Saturday, the 26th, April 26th. So it's been a couple days as of this recording, and I've been trying to figure out my words for this, just because a lot went down in just the few hours I was there. I got some nice figures signed. I got some awesome photos. I met a friend who I've not seen in like 10 to 15 plus years. So it's been a long time for that. So I'm just going to kind of like run through all that as it's kind of like the bullet points. So, um, I should just start from the beginning. I have been to the Squared Circle Expo before. This is my second year going. The first year was phenomenal. I loved it. I got my picture with Kevin Nash. I met Matt Cardona, Brian Myers. I got a Super Shredder figure signed. I got some Super 7 figures from Matt Cardona and Brian Myers. I met the Blue Meanie. So I had a great time that first time. So there was no hesitation to go again. But this time around, I actually had a little bit more of a journey to go this time around. The first time was just because I'd never been to a wrestling convention before, and where it was being held up in Indianapolis, it was a fairly easy drive for me. So it wasn't out of the way, and so I mean they're being held in the same place again. I knew how to get there, but it was laid out exactly the same. It felt the same, and that isn't a bad thing whatsoever. So, but just overall, my 2025 experience at the Squared Circle Expo was phenomenal. Loved every minute of it. So, um, when I got there, like I said, I had a little bit of a journey to get there. First, I had a priority. Like the first, I had like a couple priorities, but the first thing was to get a particular figure signed. So I mentioned this a few times on the channel already, but my stepdad had passed away shortly after I was in a car accident, and a bunch of other series of unfortunate events went down, and he got me something for my birthday, which a few months prior to him passing, and I never opened it. Yeah, he was kind of hoping I never had this one. I do have a Jerry the King Lawler action figure in the mix of all my stuff, but I opened it. Okay, no big deal. It's part of. I think I have it part as my Attitude Era section of my shelves. So no big deal. And the particular one that he got me, which I'll show in a second, it was a more classic version of it, of Jerry the King Lawler. And I just I'm like, you know what? I just something told me not to open it quite yet until I figure something out, where I want to put it in my room and everything down here in the Dragon's Tooth. And I held on to it since August. Okay, I've held August to December, and then he passed away, and then after that, I just like definitely set out to like I have to get this signed by Jerry the King Lawler, and shortly after that, a couple months after that, the I never even thought about checking the expo. Never thought about checking it. So I saw that, just seen an ad on Facebook. I'm like, oh, cool, they're coming back to um to to Indy, and I think it's been a couple of years since I've been there. So I think this is year 5 for him. So like, so I do believe, and so I'm just like, okay, cool. Let me check the list, and he's there. So like, oh, I had to go. I have never bought tickets so fast in my entire life. So here is the first figure that I got signed at the expo, was the Jerry the King Lawler Jack Specific, or is it Jack? That's the game. I think it's yeah Jack Specific. Classic superstars Jerry the King Lawler. Um, he was super nice. Like, he didn't talk much. He wasn't really talkative, but it's okay. I did all the talking. I told him what happened, what I just explained a minute ago, and you can tell he was like very sympathetic. He didn't like, his face said all it needed to be said. So, and that's okay with me. It really was. I didn't expect him to like go out of his way to kind of say anything, but like I just, hey Echo, how you doing? And I was just like, no big deal. That's fine. And so here it is again. Like, it was like this was, I could have left after this, okay? Like, but I had a few more figures to get signed. And so after that, I had another one. So I'm a big fan of hers. I'm a big fan of this next wrestler. Been I've I want I've just enjoyed her presence on screen, because she runs she when she would do vlogs, when she would be at AEW events, and her and her husband would sit in the crowd or sit in the stands and talk about horror movies, and she's a big Full Moon fan. So I'm like, that's awesome. That's just amazing. And it just, and because I am too, as you can see, I got the too long trunk right here. I got the Evo Bong stash box next to me on the floor here. So I like Full Moon movies. Okay. Cheesier the better, but I do love Full Moon movies. And so I'm like, you know what? I have to get something signed by her as well. So I got the bunny autographed, her chase figure and everything. Which I think my next, if I ever get a chance, I may try to get the Blade signed, which is her husband. And I think it'd be pretty cool to have these two like sitting on my wall, hanging up on the wall. But she was super. This is like, I had to kind of like think about like what was my favorite experience of the day. Yeah, full max movies. Um, my favorite experience of the day. Like, there was a couple moments, one more for me and one more for another reason. Okay, like the Jared the King Lawler moment. It's all by itself. Like, okay, that's an isolated thing that is specifically for me. But like, for like overall experience of the con, I do have to say, talking to the bunny. You know, like, I think it's Laura, I do believe, and or Allie, and it was just so much fun just sitting there talking to her for a good while. I kind of explained my situation again. I'm like, why I was there, and because she asked what if I hadn't gotten anything signed yet, and I explained what I just said about the Jerry Lawler stuff, and then we talked about her podcast, and I tell her I listen to her podcast while I'm at work, and like, and I brought up a couple movies that she talked about within the podcast stuff, and I brought up the movie Rubber, like, about the sentient tire and stuff like how often do you actually get to talk to like a just a wrestler about a really obscure weird movie? And so I'm like, that's awesome. So I talked to her about Rubber, and and I got a picture with her as well. I'm doing this live, so I can't show the photos, but it was awesome. Like, talking to her, she was extremely nice. Like, it was like, I just like, I went into today that day kind of wanting to like break out of my shell a little bit. You know what I mean? I wanted to kind of just like wanted to like engage with the people I was talking with. So those the Lawler figure and the bunny figure were like the two things I set out to do. So over the many months of me collecting the like I've gotten the pro wrestling crate and the AEW crate over the last year or so, and I got one in the mail, but I'll get to it in a second. So I'm like, I I also got the Major Figure Podcast exclusive box. That's just like it's just catered to those guys over there, which came with a couple micro brawlers and everything. So I'm like, oh, I got one that was signed in Chase and one that wasn't. And I'm just like, but the thing is, like, I wanted to get that one signed as well, but I already have a figure signed by him. So I was like, you know what? Maybe next time. That'll give me something to look forward to next time. Like, I didn't, because I had limited funds. Okay, like if I had all the money in the world, I would hit every single booth, get something awesome signed. If it was a picture or something totally random, something I would have gotten something signed by everybody. But I was a little fund heavy or light on funds, so I was like, you know what? Okay, so I had to be very particular about what I got signed and what pictures I got taken. So after I got the bunny, I met up with my friend Joe. I hope you don't mind me mentioning you here, but that was like another big moment. Like I haven't seen this friend in quite some time. Like we reconnected on Facebook and we just kept talking about wrestling over the last couple of years and stuff like that, and then some. But I haven't physically seen him in 10+ years. Closer to 15. Very long time. And it was like, to me, it was like it never ended. Like our friendship had never ended, and everything. It was just so much fun seeing him. And me and him went and got a picture with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was super nice. Like it was a pro photo op, so it was very quick. But you can't deny the fact that I shook Kurt Angle's hand. I got a picture with one of my best friends at the time. Still is even though I don't get to see him as often as I want to, and it was just like it was awesome. Like when I moved away to where and that's where I became friends with him, and that's how we became friends. It was wrestling. Wrestling is the common denominator for everything, everything for me. And like becoming like making friends with him, my friend Joe, with wrestling, it was just awesome. And I it was just fun. Like getting a picture with Kurt Angle with him was fantastic. It really was. Yes, and the thing is, he kind of gave me an option. Like he wanted, would you want? Who do you like better, like Kurt Angle or X Pac? I'm like, ooh, that's tough because like Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle, okay, but X Pac is also X Pac. It's like you can't deny either one. But like I have fonder memories of Kurt Angle. Like X Pac is DX and and stuff like that. And I do love his tag team run with Kane and his stuff with China and everything. It was just like and he's a very I think to me he's a very underrated wrestler. He's more he's just he I know he's more known for the Bronco Buster and stuff like that, but I don't think he's that bad. He was okay. Like he was like if I had to get a picture with him, I would have been so happy with it either way. But Kurt Angle, he won an Olympic medal with a broken freaking neck, and he was nice. He really was. Like everybody that I met that day at the expo on 2020 expo, the Squared Circle Expo, fantastic people through and through. So I got my photo with Kurt Angle and I visited with my friend Joe. Sorry about that. And I hated to kind of like we both had agendas that day. Like I had my own thing, and he had his friends and his wife there with him, and so sadly, that was kind of the last moment I saw him for the day. But like, I cherish that moment. You know, like I'm not gonna forget. Like, I got to see. I got a picture with my friend with Kurt Angle. You know, that's awesome. So and so that was our last moment for the day with my friend Joe. Uh, but we were sending photos with, of who we've gotten throughout the day, and afterwards, and so we were still keeping in touch, but we just didn't see each other, which was perfectly fine. We both had a lot to do that day. Like he had a lot of pro photo ops, and I had a lot of people that I kind of wanted to see myself. So like there's just so much little time, and I'm just grateful that he had carved a little chunk out of the day for me, and everything. So if you're watching, or if you ever watch this, Joe, thank you. I appreciate everything that you did, getting that photo for me, and it is my profile photo on Facebook, so and it'll remain that way for a very long time. um, so yeah, okay, so I got that done, and I circled this place. I circled the expo many times because they also have vendors there selling figures and merchandise and like just memorabilia, just like all over. Like it runs the gambit, everything. Like you got independent promotions doing their little stick there, and everything, and it's just a lot of fun. Like the wrestlers range from Kurt Angle and JBL and Ron Simmons or Farouk to like more like independent wrestlers. Like I'll get to one that I regret so bad right now. I should have gotten a picture with her, but I would probably he has the yeah I would have been pretty cool to see him in the 1-2-3 Kid get up, but from what I understood, he was super nice too. So like Enzo Amore was there. I think he's called the Real One now. He was like I thought about him too, but I'm like there's just so many people that I wanted, but I had to be very selective. So I just kept walking around and walking around and walking around, and I'm just like, okay, so I just couldn't decide who I wanted, and but I wore a Mariah May T-shirt. Like if you saw my unboxing of my last All Elite crate, I wanted to get a picture with her with that shirt because I absolutely loved that shirt that I got of her on the front, and she was unbelievably nice. And I just told, I was kind of, I think that was the one I was kind of nervous about. Honestly, I don't know why, but she was just super nice. And talked to her about my shirt for a moment, got a picture, and off I was go. Like it was pretty quick, but like she was super nice, super nice. I think she was a late edition too, so she wasn't even like on my bingo card for the day, until a few cancellations was happened, and I was like, okay, no problem. And then when she popped up, I'm like, oh, what perfect timing. And so I had to get a picture with her with that cool shirt. And because I still believe she and Tony Storm should have went on last at Revolution with the Hollywood ending match. Like 1000%. 1000%. So I got a picture with Mariah May. And if her figure, I don't think she has a figure and it's coming out. So I would have gotten a figure signed for sure, but I'm very happy with the photo. So I got that photo, and I'm like, you know what? I'll circle this place 300 more times, which isn't a very big area to circling that quite often. But I ate an $8 hot dog and some tater tots and stuff like that. But like I had a little bit of money, like I did set aside. I've been like, I knew this was going to be kind of a heavy spending day, so like it wasn't going to be like if I found that one thing, I'm like I could buy it, but I was being really specific and frugal and like just like I wanted to make my money stretch. Okay, so circled it. Like I said, I circled like this thing 10,000 times. I chickened out a few times, I really did, because Mick Foley was there. Mick Foley's my all-time favorite wrestler, and I I just chickened out because I want to ask him a question so badly. He may not remember it, but I wanted to ask him a question, because me and another coworker, we went to his anniversary show for the Have a Nice Day, that first book. Yeah. Oh yeah. I haven't got to that part yet either of my day with Jonathan Mayer. I'll get so. Let me tell the story. I'll get to tell you another good story about the day. And I'm like, so I went to see Mick Foley on his anniversary tour for his first book. And when we were there, I think I've told this story before, but this is why I chickened out, because it was kind of like I didn't want to bring something up that was bad, and I think he probably would have answered, but because he was super nice and everything. I think he was just in a car wreck, so him kind of like, and I just like, you know what, I don't want to like bring any bad juju out on me that day, because everything was actually going really smooth. I got great parking at the hotel. I managed to like be right next to the door, with I didn't have to like trek across parking lots or anything like that. I got superb parking that day, so I'm like something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, and I'm just like, I'm glad I didn't do it. So, anyways, I was at the show, Mick Foley, and this guy wore a T-shirt that he shouldn't have worn. Okay, um, I've been yelled at. Like I've been on this planet for 3 decades now, and I've been yelled at by bosses, parents, friends. You know, it hurt. And it always felt like I was like, okay, I'll get through this, and okay, but when you get like when you're in the crowd and Mick Foley really does yell at somebody, you're you aren't part of the problem. You still feel like you're in trouble. Okay, so I'll tell you the guy what he wore. The place that we went to was very small. Okay, it was a very small. It was called the Comedy Attic, I do believe, in Bloomington, Indiana. And he's grew up. He grew up there for a little bit, and so him had to be on his tour. This one guy wore a shirt, like Paul Heyman had a shirt that says "I'm a Paul Heyman guy," and so this guy wore "I'm a Crispin Wall guy" or something along the lines of that, and he sat up front row. Okay, he didn't have this shirt on because I had a direct line of sight from where I was from Mick Foley to that guy, and and he he didn't go off on him, but he went off on him. You could like all the air got sucked out of the room. Like I've never experienced that in my entire life, but the moment when he kind of went off on that dude, what caused you to wear this shirt today? And he had front row seats and everything, so he made the guy get up and sit in the back of the room. Okay, and and then at the end of the show he asked if you want to apologize, or do you want to say something or anything like that, and the guy refused. And so I paid VIP tickets to get something signed by him at the end of the show, and I chickened out to ask him. I didn't get a chance then because I don't think that guy was in line, or if he was behind us, because we got in line pretty quick. And I just wanted to know if he apologized eventually. That's all I wanted to know. It was a simple question, but I chickened out, but it was. I'm like, I just chickened. I was kind of a moment where I regret as well as another moment I realized I should have done it, but it was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I should have asked. So, but yeah, okay. So Jonathan Mayer, he is a fellow YouTuber. He does his own unboxings on YouTube on YouTube, and he he does also the pro wrestling crates and stuff like that over. I think it's just his YouTube channel is called Jonathan Mayer. I do believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And he was in the stream of me unboxing, and I told him where it's going, and he actually was volunteering at the show, and he was basically Brian Myers' handler for the day, or helping out in the booth. And I that was another point of the day. I'm like, I have to go stop by and say hi and everything, tell him I made it and everything. And I caught up with him a couple times throughout the day to see how things are going. And he's like, Jonathan Mayer, I think you're watching, but thank you. It was fun to kind of catch up with you throughout the day, see how things are going and stuff like that. And it was fun to kind of just and everything. And Moose came by. My God, I didn't realize I'm gonna have so many regrets already. Moose came down and sat down. The TNA champion, he came in. I'm like, oh man, I should have said hi. I should have done it. It's Moose, I should have done it. But I'm like, God, crap. And I, it was great meeting you too, Jonathan. It was awesome. And I'm getting to meet Brian Myers as well next to him. But honestly, I was more excited to see Jonathan there because I've already met Brian Myers. But it was just oh, cool, I got to meet him again. But it was just fun to catch up with, meet you in person. And it was oh, I never met a fellow YouTuber at an event like that. So it was the first time for me to do that. So after I met with Jonathan, I made oh, oh, that's cool. Oh, see, that's awesome. I should have said hi. Now I really should have said hi to Moose. Because he even laid his belt out right in front of me. I'm because Brian had gone up to his room already. Because I do believe because he was in the Royal Rumble for the night, which I'll get to in a second. That's a whole story, of its own. Yeah, I did too. So, yeah, I forgot he played for the NFL as well. So here I circled the place 10 more times, and I'm like, you know what? I did bring. So this brings me to my next figure for the day that I got signed. This is my last figure that I got signed. I've been holding on to this particular one for quite some time. It came in I think it came in the Pro Wrestling Crate mask and face paint, I do believe. I think it was their Halloween box, I do believe, and that's always one I will get. I always actually look forward to getting because they always have really good ones in that crate, and this is no other. So I've been holding on to this one for quite some time. So I got a Danhausen Micro Brawler signed, and he has 10,000 Micro Brawlers. Okay, but this particular one, it's Frankenstein and it's horror themed, and I do love the Universal monsters. So I was like, this is perfect. I think this is a very unique piece for my collection down here. And I'm like, that would be awesome to get signed. So I held on to it. And yeah, and Danhausen was so nice. He would I did the little his little thing, that him cursing. So I was putting not actually cursing, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, I do have that actually tracks because I have a Insane ICP lapel pin. I came in one of my boxes, one of my crates, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I know they're big in the wrestling world, so but Danhausen was nice. I even when I put the figure up, stepped to the side, and then I even went back and said thank you, and he was just unbelievably nice as well. He's awesome. He's much bigger than I thought. Sometimes when you see wrestlers that the size can be, kind of misleading on screen, but he's actually bigger than I thought he was, like taller as well. So it was kind of interesting to see him in the flesh, like in his get up, which I kind of regret opening his figure, his actual AEW figure, which I found in the wild, which was like, it's kind of hard to find that, at least around my area, to find figures that are unique. So, unless you want the Walmart exclusive, like of Eddie Kingston or something like that. Nothing against Eddie Kingston, but there's like the Walmart exclusives do not sell whatsoever. So, yeah. But yeah, I got Danhausen, and he was super nice. So I kind of circled the place again one more time. And I was like, oh man, Tori Wilson was there, Steiner was there. Who else? Like, there was a few others that I just my money got thin. Like that's what happened. And I was just like, oh man, like I wanted to leave there with some money, like with some money. Yes, that Eddie figure. That was it was not a good figure whatsoever. I don't like to talk bad about figures or like stuff like that, but like that was a bad figure. It really was. I think the AEW shop has a better figure. Like comes with a gas can and everything. Um, that's the better figure. They should have done that one. But yeah, like who else was like there that I was like really contemplating? Like Enzo. I thought about him. There was one that I really I was so close to doing was Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy in the WWE world. I thought about doing him, getting an autograph from him, and it was just like, oh, that would be pretty cool. Snitsky was there, so that reminds me. When I was like standing at the McFoley booth, like chickening out, to ask him a question, Gene Snitsky comes up and he has like a mountain man beard, and I'm just like, dude, like, and he was so cool. Just listening to Snitsky and McFoley kind of banter for a moment. I'm just like, I could have lived in that moment for a while, just because it was just so cool. Like, and I'm like, oh man, the thing is, I didn't realize Snitsky was there. Even though I've gone over the list who was all there, I'm like, and like what days they were, like who was going to appear and what. I'm like, oh man, like Snitsky, I just like he's on, like his angle with Kane and Lita. It was like he did the best what he could have done with that angle. So, yeah, Dylan, aka Hornswoggle, was there, and so this was like what I do believe this was the first time him dressing up as Hornswoggle, which I kind of regret not. Like, I just wish I had more money. And I even budgeted I even like saved up money for this day, but it just wasn't enough. And like and Dylan, I like Dylan because I like listening to him talk about stuff in interviews and stuff when he's with Matt Cardona and Brian Myers doing that when he pops up on Swoggle and stuff like that. Like, he just seems so cool. And yeah, like everyone was so polite. Like, there was like, was he really? Snitsky was signing baby dolls. That's cool. Oh my god! Like, that's pretty cool. I would have probably gotten a microphone signed by Mr. Anderson. That's probably what I would have gotten signed. But um, but that's funny. I love that he was signing baby dolls. So here's probably one of my yeah, he punted a fake baby into the crowd, and it like I loved how high that like I still watch that clip. Oh, was he really? So I forgot. Curtis Axel was there. They had like what? JJ Dillon, Arn Anderson. Who else was there? Uh, who was who was the other one? I can't think of his name. Um, and they were all signing. Blanchard, I think. Yeah, Tully was there. That's who I was thinking of. He was there, and so it was just so many people. But there was one. Here's like one of my like true regrets of the day. Like when it came down to like I had enough money, I should have done it, but I was kind of nervous. Which I kind of like. I'm getting better at these conventions and stuff like that. So I like. Oh, oh that's awesome! Over 100 people. That's so yeah. I should have gotten. I watched a couple of her matches, and I just love the vibe that she's in the ring. I just like. I do like female wrestlers. Like they. I could probably the matches that I've watched here in these last few years. Those matches have really like are probably some of the better matches they put on. Like the Hollywood ending match, like even like Mercedes Moné has put on some decent matches. Um, the lights out matches with like those are just like awesome. Kind of seeing the women just get like down and dirty, just like and violent as the men do, which is awesome. That's just why I also wanted to get the bunny figure signed, just because I think she was part of the first lights out match. I can't, and she got her face busted open. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So sorry about that. So, but I also do like Japanese wrestlers. I want there was one because I do like New Japan and All Japan Pro. I think that's what the other one was. I do and like Stardom, I think, and some other ones. But like I wanted to get, I should have done it, but I chickened out. Maybe next year. I wanted to get Maki Ito. I wanted to get her autograph. I even walked by her booth like 4 times. I'm like I should have done it. Like I should have done it. Like I because she even has like an affiliation with Danhausen. So I'm like, oh, that'd been awesome to do. And but there was just all kinds of cool stuff. Like there was just a lot of people promoting their own things um and yeah, see, I should have done it. I totally should have done it. Like like that's like that's kind of like the story of the day. It's like Max's regrets, like but I set out what I wanted to get. I saved a little bit of money and everything. So but there was one thing about the day that I was kind of truly bummed about. This is probably the low point of the day, is that I was up very early. I was up super early. I was up at like 5:30 or so, getting my household ready and everything, getting just everything flowing. And I also had ticket. I had a ticket to the Royal Rumble that night, like or their little 30-man over the top rope thing, and also some other matches and stuff that night. And like, I had a ticket, but my safety won out. Like I had an hour drive home, and I still had like 4 hours to kill. Like the con kind of ended like pretty cool. Like I got there around 12:30, and everyone was kind of calling it quits around 4, because Brian had already gone up to this room. I think Jonathan Mayer had can collaborate with that. Even Matt Cordona was calling it quits. I saw the bunny heading out. Um, some of the other wrestlers were kind of calling it quits. I didn't even see Kurt Hennig or Curtis Axel or Kurt Hennig, Joe Hennig, or um, around anymore. Dylan was gone, and so they were kind of packing up pretty quick. Not quick, but like the con was definitely winding down and everything, which was okay. Like I just enjoyed it, and I didn't go to the Royal Rumble thing, because, like I said, my safety was way more important. And I just like when I got to my car and I was trying to say I was telling my friend Joe, sending him a text and saying goodbye and everything, which honestly, I know Joe, you've kind of like messaged me privately and told me like, hey, you are bummed and everything. I promise you that it was okay that we didn't get to say goodbye to each other. I promise. Like the moment where we left off is like I think it was capped off perfectly. Like I got my picture with you with Kurt Angle, and I know you wanted some photos with me, um, just me and you. But you know what? I think it was perfect. It was like that day ended really well. Like I left with some money in my pocket, some awesome figures, some awesome photos, and I got to got home safely. And then I came home and ate a pizza, you know. So and watched a movie. So like couldn't get any better than that. But there was but there was still one final moment for the day, and like I kind of talked about it in my live stream for I think I don't know, Jonathan, you may be able to like since you were a volunteer for the day, maybe you heard something or not. It could have been absolutely like nothing in the long run of things. Um, but when I was leaving, MVP was kind of getting a little, what's it called, upset. Like he wasn't getting irate or anything like that, but his reasoning was like he didn't have his car. He didn't have a car ready to go to the airport. Him and Shelton Benjamin. Um, their flight was nearing what needed. The time was not against them, was against them, you know. And he was kind of like raising his voice a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay. Like you definitely you could hear the frustration, but rightfully so. I'm not like saying he's like he was being like out of character or anything, or like being mean to be the sake. Like he like we have something to get going with. So, oh yeah, because I walked by him. That's why I knew about this. Because when I was walking by, I heard him like it's MVP, so he's going to have a voice, you know. So like but you can hear the inflection in his voice and like saying like, yeah, we need to catch our flight, guys. Okay, we don't have a car. Let's just get going. I should have stood around, you know, just hanging out front for a moment just to kind of see what transpired, but like I was ready to go, you know. So, but yeah, and so yeah, that was that's how the night capped off with the day capped off with MVP kind of getting a little time against him, and he was getting a little frustrated there, but it was awesome. Like, like I, I'm not. I don't want that to be taken out of like context, saying like he was being rude or anything. It was just like he hurts people. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, if I would have like offered it, he probably would have taken it. Like the thing is, I drive a Prius and that man probably wouldn't have fit. Because he like I think I mentioned earlier in the stream, like some people are bigger and smaller than they appear and on screen because the camera does like it is kind of hard to gauge sometimes. Like when I saw who like I met Cody Rhodes and I met CM Punk at an event up in Indy when they came to AEW. Me and my buddy Cam, we had ringside tickets and we stayed and we got to like kind of mingle with the guys like for a moment, like as they were walking around the ring and everything. Super nice people, you know. Like when CM Punk was still on good terms with AEW. Yes, like thing is like they like that's another thing. Like if they had to pick somebody who was best dressed, the Hurt Locker was Lashley, Benjamin, and Montavious, what is it? What is it? Well, I can't remember what the V stands for. Porter, you know. I can't think of what the V stands for, but yeah. But they were all like what they were wearing matches with their persona. Like they were the Hurt Locker. Like they were like they were like massive men. You know, like, and Benjamin is tall. Like he has he like for like seeing him being decently like has some good height and watching like, oh my god, like all the stuff he does in the ring, like that's an athlete and a half. You know, like when you see stuff like that. Oh really? I didn't know that. That their volunteers wore suits too. That's Vontavious Porter. Thank you, Montel. Um, thank you, Echo. So yeah, it was just like seeing them dressed up and everything. It was pretty cool. It was like they are the Hurt Locker. Like they live and breathe the Hurt Locker, and it like this place is like it's so it was ran so well. Like it didn't seem like everything. It didn't seem like it wasn't done right. Like everything just seemed this whole convention was just done well because they had some panels. I wish I would have hit a panel. But I was like too busy like deciding on, I probably should have went and sat down for a moment and just thought like what do I want to do next and everything. But but I was just kind of running around, bumping into Al Snow by accident, and watching Sergeant Slaughter do his thing. And Tanaka was there, and Takeshka. I think that he was there. I see. That's another one I should have gotten, and I was just like, oh my god. Um, so there was just like, yeah, like. Yeah, like the Hurt Locker, even going back to the old Hurt Locker business days, always had a way of touching. Well, yeah, it was just like yeah, it was great. But so yeah, that was my experience at the Squared Circle Expo. It was a pretty emotional day. Like, not gonna lie, when I got in the car and kind of like looked over what I got, like it was like seeing the figure that my stepdad got me signed. It was like that's awesome. Yeah, so I'm it's what it's Saturday. This is Monday, and I'm still kind of like riding high. Like I know yours is probably will probably last longer. You being with like sandwiched between Dylan Brian Meyer, and Cardona and the figure guys. But it was just like, and and then what was that? Like Joe Henning was just like a table away, and everything. Like there was like a spot for the door, and then to go in and out, and then Joe Henning. So yeah, like I'm still thinking about it. Like I still got to hang these figures up. I still got to put the Jerry Lawler figure next to my stepdad's ashes and everything. Put that to rest. No pun intended. But it was a great day. It really was. Like it seemed like everything that day went exactly how it should have. So I think that's it. I don't really have much else. I think that's about it. I don't think nothing really else happened. I The check in was so smooth. Um, I like even it was kind of even being crowded. It didn't feel overwhelming. Like it was like everyone, even the like people who I was bumping into. Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, hey, no problem. Like even like I in my experience, okay, it was just seeing. It was like no one was like being rude or hateful or anything like that in my experience. And so like everything went off really really well. I like I said, like had a few chicken out moments, a couple regrets, some moments that'll live with me forever. You know, it was just like, and like things that will just like stick with, like, will always like be part of the my room down here. Like so, I do need to rearrange my autograph figures because um, only I do have most of my autograph figures are AEW figures, which is kind of funny. I got Jungle Boy, um, I got Jungle Boy, um, Luchasaurus, Rio. I even got an MJF figure autographed. So I am. So I really need to kind of hang those up in a more proper way. Um, yeah, like you should see, like, people were like I I I I don't, I didn't get the feeling that people were there to be resellers, if that makes sense. I'm sure there might have been a few hanging around, but um, but I never really got that sense that it was like people were there to. Oh, okay. Sorry, Echo. Now I understand what you meant. Dressing, not touching. Um, were there to get autographs for themselves. Like Bret Hart was there. I didn't get. I already have a Bret Hart autograph, so like, but I wouldn't mind getting a photo. But I'm perfectly content with having a Funko Pop signed by Bret Hart. Um, so yeah, it was a great day. I I can see why people bring wagons. Oh, really? Like the wrestlers weren't really selling, even selling pictures or autographs. It's the experience, all right? Like that's probably why I should have asked Mick Foley that question. But like I know, like I did have a sense of like the better judgment. Like, don't bring something up like that in this environment. But I was just like curious, but like but I'm like, that moment. I'm like, I'm going to let that die off. You know, like I'm not going to, like. I think if that ever like rises up again, like I don't need to know, like, because has to. That dude ruined his own moment. You know. Yeah, like I know. Yeah, like most, but obviously most booths have like a little collection of like photos of 8x10s and of already like pre-autographed photos, or photos to be autographed. So thank you. Yeah. So yeah, like I was like like um I think, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Like I have someone else on my, like, there to help me put this together. Like, yeah, like not asking that was right, because that night was, that dude who did that shouldn't have done it, and it kind of killed the experience a little bit at the beginning. But he like, Mick Foley's so good that he turned it around and got the crowd back to laughing and everything. It was just like a quick little moment, and he got things going again. Um, but yeah, like there was a few other there was, like, I should have gotten some like random indie guys as an autograph. Like I also thought about that. Um, I thought that'd be pretty cool. Just like, oh, if like one day they make it big, I'm like, I got his autograph before he was big. You know, I should have done that. But like maybe next year. Like the thing is, I don't go after the big guys. The first year I did was like Kevin Nash, but like and Matt Cardona. But it was just like these figures were like, these mean something to me. So which is like why people exactly. Oh, did he? Oh, that's cool. I wasn't there Friday. I had to work, which I'm like, next year I'm probably going to try and get a hotel room, and so I can like just go up the stairs and elevator and crash for a little while, or put all the stuff back in the hotel room so I don't have to lug it around. but but yeah, or something like I even contemplated going and taking a nap in the car just for a little bit, but yeah, but I did see my friend did send me some footage of him at the event that on Saturday, and it was pretty cool. Like they were fighting in the crowd and everything. I'm like, I love it. Like I've been to a few GCW events and down in Evansville, and at I can't remember where it was at, but it was so fun that down there. So and with no guard railings and stuff like that. That's why I'm kind of bummed that I didn't go, because I do like those little. I've had my experiences with the smaller promotions have always been really great, like with the stuff, the GCW stuff. So yeah, that is all. I really think I've like covered everything, like from me getting there and leaving, meet my friend Joe, the Bunny, Jerry Lawler, just my regrets for a few people, meeting Jonathan Mayer. Yeah, so that even my wife was like, I was talking to my wife for there towards the end, and like, I really hated eating the money for the ticket. It was only like $30, but like my life was worth $30, to like skip out on. So, and I made it home and just in time, because I really did kind of feel like tired on the way home. So it was like starting there. The last 20 miles was like getting kind of rough there, just because I knew I was so close to being home. But I made it home safe and sound, obviously. So I'm here. But I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Like I I didn't even I did have a few like figures that I wanted to try and find. But I think I probably missed out on the big stuff, the cream of the crop, I should say, on day one. Like I needed to find I what so I collect the blood and guts line of the AEW stuff. I have them all except for the CM Punk and MJF dog collar match set. So that's the only one that I'm missing, and I was kind of going around looking for it. That's also a reason why I was kind of like holding on to some extra cash, because cash is king at these events. Okay, like I know a few event, I know I know cards. Few booths do take cards, but like cash is still king. Like I and I'm glad I took out the extra $100 um, that I needed. But just I'm glad that I did, because like oh, in case I did have that one moment where I'm like, oh, I needed that. So I needed that figure, or that I needed that autograph and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was fun. I cannot wait to go back next year. I was reading through the comments and everything. Oh, there was a little bit of controversy with Zilla Fatu, which was cleared up pretty well. So initial reports was that he was a no call no show, and but then people got a hold of the right people, and it's like no, they just there was just miscommunications, and so that's what I heard, or that's what I read. So like they apologized and everything, the people at the Squared Circle, because they kind of they didn't like they had like they made a post that was kind of like oh like we're angry about this situation just as much as you guys, and that kind of post, but like then they retracted and like said we're sorry, and just there was some like just some bad miscommunications, and I think he was also booked for something else. So I think so it was just kind of a just miscommunication, which was great, at least great in the sense that he didn't not show up. It was miscommunication. um, trying to think what else. There was a, if you go to the Squared Circle page on Facebook, there's this guy. I think I saw him a couple years ago because like he looked familiar because he has the old school intercontinental belt, the ones that Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels fought over, or the one that Cody Rhodes brought back with the white strap and everything. He had that one tattooed across his belly. So, oh yeah, there's this moment. So, as I was kind of walking around, uh, and like what's really nice about this place is that the wrestlers will go visit other wrestlers at their booths. Like with Gene and Sinsky coming over to say hi to Mick. Even Jerry Lawler went and said hi to Mick as well. That's Yeah, I was over there for a moment contemplating that question hardcore, and I'm glad that I'm just glad I'm going to just like kind of just say this one last time. Like, I'm glad that I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't do it. I didn't want to be like that guy, asking a terrible question. So, but it was just nice seeing them kind of interact like that in like a more of a casual environment, and it was just fun like that. But anyways, back to the story. So he had his IC belt tattooed across his belly. And the dude's like, "Hey Jerry, like, what do you think of this?" And he's looking at it, and he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And it was, and he was just like, it was just hilarious. So like, just me walking around, kind of provided moments like that, and just like, there was a few booths I probably should have like just like shown some support to. Like, there was an autism booth, a Wrestlers for Autism or something like that. I should have like stopped there. Yes. Okay. So you know exactly what guy I'm talking about. Yeah. So exactly. Like, I just wanted to be positive for the day. So yeah, that guy was crazy. Like, he was like, and he had a crop top on too. So it wasn't just like he was lifting his shirt up. Like, it was on full display. Like, and it was like very intricate tattoo as well. So it wasn't just like it, like, first glance it could have been like, oh, he has a belt on, but like, and then you have to like really like, oh, it's a tattoo across his belly. And he was just like, he was having a blast. That guy was like, really, he was there to have fun. And so I'm trying to think if there was any other people like that. I don't think I did see a few people dressed up as Danhausen. um that was pretty cool. Trying to think if I saw any. I saw, um, crap. I don't know if it was a kid or not, but he definitely was at least um, in late teens. I should put it. He was dressed up as Batman, but he had the Stinger paint and stuff like that. So he had the cowl, but it was like the Stinger makeup and everything on, and the cape, and as the for the well, also like the jacket and everything. But I saw that, like, so there's a few cosplayers that I enjoyed watching, looking around and everything. And if you've never been to a con before, like, people like sitting on the floors and stuff like that was just like, it's like normal. So it was just like, I probably should have sat down, but I didn't want to like get back up. If I sat down, I wouldn't have gotten back up. I was like, I'm dead. Work around me. So, but yeah, I think that is all. Like, I'll just show off my haul one more time. But if you want to see the photos of me at the expo, I am at the one and only MSJ. Like, it's the underscore one and only, and then underscore MSJ on Instagram. You'll see the photos that I had taken that day with the Bunny, Mariah May, Kurt Angle, and Danhausen. So here's my autograph for Danhausen. Here is um, the Bunny, which is pretty cool. And probably in the it's the figure of the day. I know. I think I was talking about. I think I mentioned the bunny was, but like really, honestly, it is this one signed by Jerry Lawler. It says Hall of Fame. I think 97 at the bottom. And so like, oh, I can't. I'm just gonna let it just sit here out in the open and get ready to before I like really put it in its final spot in my room. Just kind of like want to admire it as as that. So yes, that is all. It was a great night. It was a great day. Like so. Oh, thank you for following me on Instagram, Jonathan. Or do you go by John? Or let me know. I could be totally calling you by a name you don't like. Um, but yeah. Thank you, Echo, for helping me keep me some of my facts straight, for being my moderator in the chat and everything, and Jonathan for being cool. What's the word? Corroborating my my experience as well, and seeing some people, because like Jonathan Mayer got to, like, he was, like I said, he was a volunteer, so he had a totally different experience. So like, are you going to do a video or anything like that, Jonathan? Okay, cool. A video on it, because I could honestly just keep repeating myself, but but yeah, I think I'm just going to call it a night, and I just want to say thank you everybody who joined or watching for a little bit. It's like it's been a hard year. It really has. It like from November of 2024 to now, it has been um okay. So um you just do the unboxings, okay. Um and yeah, I'm just going to enjoy this moment. Like, I'm going to, like, I really don't want this stuff to kind of like go away too quickly. Like, I think you said your post expo high lasts a good while, and I'm kind of hoping mine does too. Because I still gotta talk. I gotta still tell these stories to my coworkers and stuff this week and everything. And it's just been a good weekend. I needed this, and like like, thanks to my wife and our family for watching our kid and everything. It was definitely like needed. So, and thanks to Joe, I have to give him one last shout out. um, getting me in the same room as Kurt Angle. Like, that is 100% all attributed to him. Like, on that end, like, he got me in the room, got to meet Kurt Angle, had a great moment and everything. So like, he was the hero of the day for me. So even though I had a lot of great moments, like, I know the experience of meeting the bunny was my favorite, but like Joe was just like the hero of the day, and it's coming through and really like putting like a nice positive mark on the day. Like the day could have, like, these people could have told me to go like screw off or whatever, but I'm like, you know what, I met Kurt Angle and it was a great experience and with my friend. So yeah. So it was your fourth time. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to, like, yeah, like pro wrestling. Like, the thing is, I'll end it on this note, is that leading up to the week leading up to the expo, I was just telling everybody, I'm like, I'm going to the expo, I'm going to do this. Like, I scheduled myself a 3-day weekend off work to like have the day off, to go to the expo in a couple of days, like, which is my normal days off, to kind of like have a nice little relaxed day, but no, like all weekend I had something to do. So like, and then that's why that's why I didn't do the video right away, because it gave me a chance to kind of just, this is the final stamp on that for my channel. So I'll probably go back to playing The Last of Us throughout the week. So, but I really wanted to do this and talk about it. So yeah, thank you, Jonathan Mayer. Yes, you gotta love pro wrestling. Like honestly, can't wait. I probably should have watched Raw tonight, but I haven't seen my son in like 3 days, 2.5. So and we all had supper together and everything. So it's like pro wrestling. I love pro wrestling, but like family does come first, and so I'm like, that's why I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna end the night with something pro wrestling. And the hat I wore for the day was contributed to my wife. She bought me this as a birthday present at my first AEW event, and so I was wearing that out through all day. And so yeah, so thank you everybody, thank you Jonathan, thank you Echo, everything. Yes, this exactly, like, no, like that's exactly Joe. Like I don't like, and like Echo and some other people that I'm like holy crap, you watch wrestling too? Like, oh yeah, that's where I was leading to. It was like I was telling people where I was going. Like, yeah, I watch wrestling. I'm like holy crap, like I could have been talking wrestling about, like I would have like went out of my way to like go over to your department and like hang out for a moment, like even though I should have been doing my job, but I'm like, no, I'll just come say hi, but yes, all my realist friends were made through this fake thing called wrestling. Exactly, like Joe. Like I wouldn't. So this is where I'm going to end it. This is exactly where I'm going to end it. I wouldn't love wrestling if it wasn't for my stepdad. Okay, like I knew who Hulk Hogan was, and I watched the Attitude Era, but like from like my love for wrestling came from the Monday Night Wars. Like when I was living with my mom and stepdad and everything. It was like I watched it, and I got to watch those moments you see on television. I got to see it, like those kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you, Gary. So I will see you all later. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, Brother Max to most nowadays. And I just want to say I'm going to go geek out. And there's no other appropriate way to say this, but like group hug in the showers tonight. Good night, everybody.